Right, David, this is you. Looks quite smooth. So the first thing I'm looking for is body position. Probably is the most important thing in swimming. And what I'm looking for is that your bum is quite near to the surface of the water, ideally scraping through it. And if we look, as you rock from side to side, you are actually making that now, and that's great. The big tendency is, as you get tired, is that the legs probably will drop, but that's good for where it is now. Just moving on to something a bit more technical than that, we'll have a look at what your arms are doing, or how your catch is going. So that's good. Your left arm's coming in with your wrist kind of already cocked, and what you're not doing is you're not tipping that palm up towards the end of the pool, causing drag, which is excellent. That's really nice. The right arm's doing pretty much the same thing as it comes through and then pulls. That's lovely. Suppose get a better view of it from the other side. What I would like to see is possibly that elbow just to sort of maybe bend earlier, and there's a tendency just as it's here is that your hand is actually way in front of your elbow, and that's something that becomes a little bit inefficient. Yeah, so as it's coming through here, you just maybe collapsing the elbow a little bit, but certainly give you some drills that'll sort that out. It's actually not that pronounced and not that it's not that bad. So just going back a little bit, just again to check this. One of the things is, as your hand has come in there, we'll just look at the timing of when the next hand's coming in. So as you can see, this arm here now is now past your head. It's way past your head. It's almost right back, and now your hand's entering. So when your hand enters, this arm's almost finished its stroke. Now what tends to be more efficient is if you become a front quadrant swimmer, and what that means is that there's always an arm kind of out in front of you. I'll give you some drills sort of on how to do that. It will also give you more balance as well, because if there's an arm always out in front of you, you'll find that you're breathing and stuff like that. You just end up having a little bit more time to do it. Your breathing looks quite smooth, but it also looks as if you do want to have your whole face out of the water. We'll have a look at how much you rotate in the water now. And that doesn't seem bad at all. Like I say, you've got that nice cocked wrist. The problem is that you are just leaving your hand in front of your elbow, maybe for a little bit long, but that's nothing that can't be put right quite easily. So if we look as this comes down, just as you make it's just here, you can see it really well, is that the hand is in front of the elbow, and then just as you're making this sort of big push, and this is probably the most powerful part of your stroke phase, is what's happening is that it's the elbow that's driving back as opposed to your hand. So sometimes you're kind of leaving your hand and you're driving the elbow back, and really on your left hand side's a little bit better, is you're actually really sort of pushing that water behind you. But what you do have good, it's what a lot of men struggle with, is you do appear to have quite good rotation. So if that's the surface of the water, that's your rotation when you're breathing, and that's excellent. Lots of people over rotate, very rare that I see anybody under rotate. You've also rotating on that side as well, that's good, and when you breathe, that's also good. Your breathing looks nice and relaxed. But yeah, you can just see that timing's an issue, because what's happening is at this point there is nothing in front of you at all that's kind of keeping you balanced. That's why that's probably why your stroke tends to be a little bit short, and you're not quite when I'm saying about that your catch is suffering, it's because you're not quite getting enough time to do it. Because as you can see, this one's coming in, it's kind of swimming a little bit like a windmill. What is good is though it's not affecting you too much. There's a little bit of bend, just a little bit of bend in your body, a little bit of snaking, but to be honest, don't worry about that. I would expect to see that when you've got that issue. But on the whole, that's a really good swim. It's starting to get really smooth. You are starting to develop a good catch. You've got a good wrist position, and that sets you up to get an even better catch when you start to like move on it. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with your swim at all. Your bum's in a good position, you kick very relaxed, you breathe very relaxed, and more importantly, your rotation is excellent. There's nothing stopping you with working on them few drills. I can see you knocking at least a minute off your 400 metre time, no problem at all. Well done.